Well, hope everyone is doing well. Hope you can hear me. We're giving away a ton of stuff and I'm announcing winners. This is a dual purpose video. We are streaming live on Whatnot on Whatnot and on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube and you want to see what the results are, stay there. If you want to win some of the results, there's the QR code up there. Just tap on that or photograph that and come over to Whatnot, sign on up. Um let's see here. Hold on a second. Just getting ready. I'm haven't done this in a bit, and so I'm just making sure that all is ready here on my computer. All right. People take your time. I know, I know, I know. I will I just have to get everything ready. All right. So, let's get to it. Very excited to be doing this. Took a little bit of time off. We're going to be picking up. First thing I will tell you is that after we do this stream today, showing the winners for the 2023 Lamley Awards, I'm going to take a couple of hours and get ready, and I'm going to be back to do a sales show. I'm going to be doing the purge. I'm still doing the Hot Wheels purge. I've got a Matchbox purge to do, a lot of models to get rid of and sell, get rid of, transfer to happy homes, and I'm going to continue to do that because I have so many to get rid of. So at 1:30 my time, so 12:30 Pacific, I'm going to be back on selling some of the models that I purchased. There's some really, really, really good stuff in there. I'll talk more about that later. All right. So, Lamley Awards. If you're not familiar, hopefully you are. If you're not, we do this every year. Started with polls on lamleygroup.com, best and worst, super treasure hunt from Hot Wheels, best and most disappointing, new models, basic, premium, what have you. This year, we kind of changed it up a little bit. Last year we did when we introduced the tournaments on Instagram, and then we added some new tournaments this year, and it was fantastic. If I had to count, I mean, it was well into the high six figures of votes from both the polls and the tournament. I mean, it was insane how many people were responding, how many votes got that came through. And so much fun in the tournaments that actually for 2024, when we do this next year, polls are out. We're going to get rid of them. It's just going to be all tournaments because they're not scientific. They're super fun. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone expresses it. And I've gotten so many good opinions from everybody on this. And we're going to introduce some more brands and everything else. Anyway, it was really fun. So we're going to start with the polls. I'm going to introduce, what models were the winners in the polls. We're going to give away the winners for best. I'm not going to give away the worst, hence being the worst. Um, and we'll go from there. So let's start. Kind of going back and forth on my screens here, so you'll have to bear with me. Let's start with Hot Wheels. Best Super Treasure Hunt. I'm going to introduce the best, and we'll talk about it while we're giving away the winner. So, obviously, 15 Super Treasure Hunts. The winner had 27.10% of the votes. The runner-up had 25.2% of the votes. I'll give you what the winner is, and we'll get the tournament start, or we'll get the giveaways started. You'll see it up in this corner right here. I know they've changed it since I last did one. Is the giveaway actually stays here? That's so you can sell during it. We're not doing any selling today on this stream. It's all giveaways. So you want to enter that. I don't even know if I think you have to tap on it to be able to see what it is, and then you can see what the winner is. The winner with 27% of the votes was the 1982 Toyota Supra. Now, you're entering this, you're seeing my version of the Toyota Supra, the one in my collection. The winner will get a carded Toyota Supra. And so just so you know, so I'm actually showing today all the cars that come from my collection, but I have every one of them packaged and wrapped of all the winners. So the winners will get the actual like new model in the package. So Toyota Supra was the winner. And not a surprise here. The runner up, we're not giving this one away. The runner up was the 510. So 27% of the vote for the Toyota Supra, 25% for the Datsun 510. That stayed pretty consistent. The Datsun 510 actually jumped out in front early on, and then the Supra took over. And then during the month that we had the polls open, it kind of stayed pretty consistent that the Toyota Supra was going to take it. So a lot of opinions on this one. This was technically not a new model, but I feel like it really was actually included in the new models as well, just because they took the old Toyota Supra casting, that Super Celica casting, modified it, gave it a little bit more of a modern twinge, gave the winking with the headlights and whatnot. But this is the one you guys liked. I like it too. We've called them plain Super Treasure Hunts. I think clean is the better word. And but yeah, it's I'm not surprised this one won. Datsun 510 being the runner up, not a surprise as well. I'll tell you guys I'll tell you also what models, and this is actually kind of cool, or actually kind of funny, not cool. What models won worst super? I'm not giving away the worst super. You guys, I'll look at your comments. Do you guys know what model won the worst super? It was, I'll just say this. Never in the history of the Lamley Awards has a model gotten over 50% of the vote in any category, best, worst, most disappointing, whatever. But this is the only time that one model did. Yeah, you guys have all figured it out. With over a whopping 57% of the vote, your worst super treasure hunt was the tuned Batmobile. Let's change the lighting here. Let's be more dramatic here. There it is. Tuned Batmobile, 57% of the vote. It was overwhelming how much it won. Second place was the Glory Chaser. Don't even have it out here. The Golf Glory Chaser. I think that was probably because it was non-licensed, but it got 8% of the vote. So that gives you a sense of how dominant the Batmobile was in the vote. My choice for best super, worst, I probably agree with the Batmobile. I don't have a real strong opinion, but my best super actually might surprise you because it isn't licensed. But I thought the Mighty K was the best super of the year for many reasons. One, I tried the categories I use is kind of the upgrade from the regular. The regular was cool and red, but I thought this model, I think the model's super cool. I think the tribute to Rio was super cool about it too. And I just think red supers, they just always look the best. That's why we always see a lot of red supers. I thought the chrome four spokes look so good on this. I try and judge a super based on the upgrade that the car is from its regular version, and this one stood out for me. I really like the Supra. I really like the Datsun. Porsche 935 actually finished third in the best, but yeah, I went with the Mighty K as my favorite. But you guys chose the Supra, and one of you is going to take it home. Let's go ahead and draw a winner. If you haven't entered, it's right up here in the corner because I see a lot of people watching, but some of you haven't entered yet. So you want to enter right here in the corner. It's not in the front anymore or down below. So I think that's how it looks, right? Let's draw a winner here in about 5 seconds, and then we'll move on to Best Hot Wheels Basic. And yes, yeah, I think you have to be following me in order to win. Here we go. Winner of the Supra is Vic C. Money. Congratulations. You will be getting a packaged Supra here in the next few days. You are the winner. We'll go ahead and put that kind of out of the shot a little bit, but congratulations. All right, let's talk basic. Best Hot Wheels Basic. We'll get right to it. So we can enter. We do best and most disappointing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. You can see it up in the corner if you want to see what the winner was. I don't think this was a surprise for anybody. But the winner of the best basic Hot Wheels model, and one of you is going to win this one, even though it is a dollar model, hence being a basic, was the Mercedes-Benz 560 AMG. Not a surprise. I will already go out there and say it was my favorite by a mile. I think when the minute this model was unveiled, I already said it was going to be my best of the year. I didn't know anything that was going to be able to pass it by. and that remains. In fact, it's in the running for my model of the year. I'll unveil that. My overall model of the year. I'll unveil that here at the end. But this one, not a surprise. Let me tell you what percentage of the vote it got. 22.35%. Anybody want to guess what was the runner up was? If you guys win, or someone said if you I should sign. If you guys want me to sign the models, just the winners, send me a message. I can't. It's hard for me to sign the ones I sell, but the ones I give away, I can do that. Not that it's just a Lamley award. It's not that you need me to sign. I have nothing to do with it other than I'm showing it. But if you want me to sign them, I will. All right. I'm looking at I see some Porsche guesses, Supra, McLaren, Alfa Romeo. Anybody else want to guess what the runner-up was? I'll give you the percentage. It got 10.71% of the vote. I'll even tell you what the runner-ups were behind that. So Mercedes won. In third place was the Porsche Carrera 911 RS. In fourth place, let's see if I have it here. I don't know if I do. I don't, but it was the Audi Quattro. So your second place runner-up was the Alfa Romeo. I think so many people just love the execution of this model, and I did too. This was the introduction of those new wheels, those kind of new four-spoke, like Euro wheels. I don't know what you would call them. Alfa got 10% of the vote, but the winner was the Mercedes. A lot of you voted for the Alfa Romeo. I can't argue with that. That one actually did give the Mercedes a bit of a run of its money, but I had to go with the Mercedes as my favorite. As you know, it's a Super Treasure Hunt this year. It still looks fantastic in red. Really, really cool model. And the winner. We'll draw a winner here in about 30 seconds. Let me tell you, more than that, about a minute. Let me tell you about the most disappointing. Now, one of the reasons I'm getting rid of the polls is one, I just think that the tournaments are better. Two is I always had to explain most disappointing. I always thought worst model was never for super treasure hunts. It works, but for new models, most disappointing I thought was more interesting. I want to know what model you were most looking forward to or you most excited about, and it just didn't live up to the hype that you'd given it. But a lot of times, and sometimes I think this year a lot of the voters kind of figured it out that way, and we'll talk about that as we go. But sometimes it's just cars that people don't like, and I just don't think that's as interesting. So, and it was a little bit of both. The model, and I think this one actually is legit. I think people were most disappointed by this one. Makes a lot of sense. The model that was the most disappointing, we're not giving away, but the most disappointing basic was the Volvo XC40 Recharge. This thing got 13% of the vote. So, there's a lot of models that were also voted on most disappointing out of the 2023 Hot Wheels basics, but this is the one that people didn't like. I think it's a creative use of the casting. If you want a realistic version, Hot Wheels or Matchbox put one out this year too, the XC40. But I think people didn't like, I don't know if it was the deco or just this kind of, I think EVs I noticed from a lot of you. EVs got a lot of backlash this year. Because in fact, I'll tell you, the runner-up with just under 10% of the vote from the new models was the Tesla Model Y, which by definition, if you voted for this, it means that your favorite car of these or one of your favorites was the Tesla Model Y, and it just disappointed you. But I can also understand that some of you just don't like EVs and wanted to put these two EVs. I think the Volvo, yeah, obviously the Volvo Recharge is an EV, and wanted to put these EVs in your most disappointing, maybe because you're just disappointed that Hot Wheels and Matchbox are doing EVs. I don't agree with you at all, but I understand it. It's your vote, and it's why you vote. And I think EVs are fantastic, and it's the future. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with them, but I know a lot of you are not. So that's totally fine, right? We all have our opinions, but we'll probably all be driving EVs here in the next few years. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll still be alive. Maybe I won't. You guys want to know how old I am? I'm turning 50 in just a few days. How about that? All right. So maybe I won't be alive when everyone's driving EVs. Should we give away the Mercedes? We already did. Z420 Romero, you won the giveaway. Congratulations. You will get a carded version of the Mercedes. If you want this signed, please let me know, and I will be happily sign it for you. I'm in total agreement with that being the model. Let's talk about best Hot Wheels premium new model. This was a surprise. Let's get the giveaway going. Here we go. Right up there in the corner. So, if you're seeing it, you're seeing what the model is. Best Hot Wheels premium with 15, almost 16% of the vote. This one, I'm saying I love that this model won. And whoever wins this drawing, this giveaway is going to get this model carded. It is the Ford Capri. I see the message Z420. I will sign it for you. Ford Capri Group 5, designed by Phil Reelman, done in premium. I can't remember what the mix is called. It's kind of in the background here. But this is the model that won Best New Premium. And I love it. It's executed beautifully. It's got such a cool, like, vintage racing vibe. And I think a lot of you have kind of been getting into, like, I've seen a lot of vibing from collectors about the old vintage racing, and like when Hot Wheels does vintage racing in car culture, vintage racing cars, whether it's American, Japanese, European, they're wildly popular. And this one won. I see that you're a peg warmer. You know what? Peg warmer or not, the cool thing about this is this is definitely not a hype model. And I like hype models too. I have no problem with, the Datsun 510s and the Skylines and everything else. But this thing won it as a classic European race car. The runner up, and is actually my choice for best new model of the year. A Ford Capri was up there. The runner up was the Fast and Furious BMW M5. Love the BMW M5. This is the 1991, right? Yeah, 1991 M5. I love the M5 from last year as well, and I thought this one was really well executed. It was actually an interesting year for Hot Wheels Premium. We still haven't finished it. The car culture is still not done for 2023. I'll take anything new from those mixes and move them into the 2024 Lamley Awards. But yeah, this model was the one that you guys chose the Capri. I chose the BMW, and that BMW is the runner up. What was the vote on that? 9% of the vote. VW Corrado, which is actually right there on my display, that was third. I don't know what percentage it got, but the VW Corrado. So it's kind of an interesting mix of cars this year. As we're talking about this one, let me feels like it was a down year of anything to do with Mark Jones' retirement, says Jeff. I think there might have been some. I mean, a lot of these models that Mark Jones designed were released, but I don't know if it really did. I think we got some really cool versions of existing castings, and we got some really cool new castings. They just didn't do as many of the hype versions. Now we have Ron now on the team, and Ron, as I think you saw from the sneak peeks that we did, is going to go crazy with premium. And I think 2024 for Hot Wheels Premium is going to be completely out of control. So I also really like the Honda Accord. I think that was far, that wasn't far behind. Let me talk about your most disappointing. Anyone want to guess? We've got about a minute and a half before we draw this winner. Anyone want to guess what the most disappointing was of the premium of new premium models? You guys can let me know. I'm trying Land Cruiser, Citroen, Maxima, Ford, Tank Car. Tank Car was a year before. We didn't do RLC in this one. Lambo Speed Machines. No, these were new castings, and I saw it mentioned. The Maxima Impala. It was the Maxima. This one was pretty dominant. Nissan Maxima, 20% of the vote. That's a pretty dominant. That's a pretty dominant winner. And yeah, I agree with this one because it doesn't look like a Maxima. It looks like the Infinity. Does it not? Like, this is just a confusing new model, to be honest, because I don't see Maxima here with this. And I think that's what a lot of you guys said. The windows are weird on this one. It didn't execute well. If they rebadge this in Infinity, I think we might like it. But yeah, that was the most disappointing. Right behind it was the was the one where I think people get the vote wrong, is the Citron, where just it suggests that a lot of Citron Type H fans that were just disappointed by the execution, but we know that's not true. They just didn't like Citron. Um, but yeah, Max and I totally agree with. Let's draw a winner. Let's draw a winner for the Ford Capri. Sean Nicholas, congratulations, my friend. I've watched your very clever videos on Instagram and on YouTube. Well done, and you win. And I think you have I think you're selling here on Whatnot as well. So that's pretty awesome. Ford Capri is yours. Let me know if you want me to sign it. Maybe I should have you sign it for me. I like your stuff. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? Matchbox. We're gonna go Matchbox basic new model. Let's draw it. Let's get this winner going. Oh yeah, this one was easy. This one was easy. Run away winner. Right there in the corner. Check it out. You guys can see what the winner was. These are basic new models. Now, Matchbox, you do it a little bit differently. I separate them basic and moving parts. So there's not necessarily premium. Matchbox is doing versions of premium, but I think the better designation is basic, which means no moving parts. Sometimes it gets metal based, sometimes it's not. That's what Matchbox is doing now. And other times, rubber tires, whatever. This is considered a basic model, even though it was released as a premium, the way I define them. And it was the winner in basics by about 800 miles. What did it get? Well, 13% of the vote, but it is pretty consistent that this was the winner. It is the Porsche 911 RSR. This was a Mattel Creations release. That was the only way to get it. And it sold out about as instantly as any RLC, popular RLC. Porsches dominate. And it's interesting. This is the first Porsche winner we've seen, but Porsches dominate, and they dominated the Lamley Awards too. In a sense, they were always up there in the votes. But the RSR was the winner with 13.6, almost 14% of the vote. Runner up, you guys want to guess? You want to guess on the runner up for best model, and then we'll talk about the most disappointing. Looking at your comments here. Bid over price. Those are probably for rarity. I price what they want. We buy them. Retro Porsche was actually a moving parts, and that would be, we're going to be going to the tournaments here after the polls. These are all the polls that were on lamleygroup.com. So a little bit different. We're going to have a best of Hot Wheels, best of Matchbox, everything else. And these are new models. Eagle was a great one. I see someone guessing. The actual runner-up was the Volvo 240. This one got just under 10% of the vote for best new basic new model. And I can't argue with this one at all. Really, really cool model. I love the AMC Eagle as well. I would say that's probably my basic of the year. But yeah, it was that one that you guys liked. Let's talk about most disappointing basic. This is where I think, again, don't think it totally. I think it's more of a misunderstood new casting as opposed to a most disappointing. But it was the Renault Twizy that won as most disappointing. What did it get? 15% of the vote, just under 15%. So kind of dominated. I mean, it's a unique car. It's very European. It's nothing that folks in the US will see, but it's rad. It's rad. I mean, it's not going to be my favorite, but it's unique. It's an interesting, this is the kind of stuff it's really cool to see Matchbox do. I think it's well executed, but it won because people I think just didn't know what it was. And that's why I'm getting rid of the polls, and we're just going to do tournaments next year because it's like that should not be considered the most disappointing model. Now the model that let me find it, that was the runner up, again, it's that little trend I saw of the backlash against EVs. Tesla Model S, the upgrade of the Tesla, or the update of the Tesla Model S from Matchbox, was your runner-up as most disappointing. I have to say it's probably because it was an EV, because this is actually I think you'll all agree, this is pretty well executed casting when it comes to the to the Tesla in terms of replicating the actual cars. I think it's just the choices of, and I think that's valid. That's a valid reason you don't like all the EVs. I think, and you want to vote that as most disappointing. I can't argue with that. So again, I'll argue with your reasoning, but I can't argue with the fact that you thought that was most disappointing because I think the EVs are good. We've already talked about that. All right, we're going to give this one away. In fact, let's just do that here in about 10 seconds. Looking at all the comments, death to electric, hating EVs is cringe. Yeah, I mean, a lot of strong opinions, a lot of strong opinions. And I'm guessing that maybe people who rode horses back, 100 years ago had the same opinions. Like, why are we doing this? We should, what's wrong with horses? My opinion. All right, let's draw a winner. Let's see who's taking home this RSR. Now, like I said, this one's mine. The winner will get this one boxed. It comes in the acrylic case, fully sealed as far as I know. So that's what you're going to get. Let's draw the winner. AS3, congratulations. The Porsche is yours. Very, very nice model. All right, let's move on to Matchbox. Let's talk about the winner of the moving parts. Best moving parts. This will be an interesting one to talk about. You guys can figure out which one won. I'll go ahead and put it in the giveaway. Go ahead and enter. You can see which one it was with just over 14% of the vote. The best Matchbox moving parts new model, according to you, is the Lexus LFA. Now, this one you can call premium. It has a metal chassis. It also has rubber tires. We may see this one in the basic line as well. This model got so many opinions when it was released. Some people really loved it. I think we were all happy to see one of the Mattel brands doing the Lexus LFA. Some people had some issues with the execution, but other people loved it. Hence, it won Best Matchbox Moving Parts New Model of 2023. But we also had another first, just like the Batmobile Super Treasure Hunt was the first thing to get over 50% of the vote in a poll. We also have, for the very first time and the only time, because we're not doing polls next year, the winner of the best Matchbox Moving Parts New Model was also the most disappointing Matchbox Moving Parts New Model of the year. We've never had a model take both of the categories. So there you are. Whoever wins this also wins the most disappointing with a whopping 22% of the vote. The Lexus LFA was your most disappointing. How awesome is that? That's what I call a great vote because you guys did exactly. You were excited. I mean, I don't think a lot of people hate the Lexus LFA, and I think you guys didn't like the execution of it. That's fine. So you defined that one perfectly, and it won best and most disappointing. How about that? I think that is that's proper use of collectors' opinions. Love it, love it. You want to know what the runners-up were? Runners-up were for the best, and this one actually was leading for quite a while in the moving parts category. Was the Triumph TR6? This one was a peg warmer. At least I saw quite a few on the pegs. I never saw the Lexus on the pegs. That Lexus. It's one of those, we've seen that with certain Skylines and Datsuns. People like, I hate the Datsun, I hate the Datsun, and then they go buy everyone. I think the Lexus was that. I hate the Lexus, and they bought everyone. The Triumph TR6, this was I think like the Ford Capri, just pure, how beautiful is this model? The moving parts has the opening hood and beautiful interior, beautiful British racing green. Just, pretty perfect. This was the runner-up with 12% of the vote. So it didn't fall that far behind the Lexus. But that was your runner-up. Runner-up for most disappointing. This is more, I think people were bored by it, was the Fiat 500. This is basically the moving parts version of the basic. And the Fiat 500 seems a little tired in terms of I don't think there's a lot of strong opinions about it other than maybe fill that slot with something else, right? As opposed to the Fiat 500. So that was your runner-up for most disappointing. My choices, Oh, and the Tesla Model 3 was right behind that in most disappointing, which isn't a surprise because everyone has been going off against the EVs. Bollinger B2 is actually the I don't have that with me here. I should have brought that out. But I have a packaged one. Bollinger B2 was in third place. This one would be up there for me in terms of one of the best moving parts models because it was a unique choice. It is an EV, but unique choice. And the execution, that's why I should have brought it out, where it has the opening hood and the opening front panel and the opening rear panel. So you could look right through it. I thought that was really cool. So that was one, I think, in terms of execution and choice, that was one that I really liked. But my choice for best moving parts new model, and I'm trying to see if it finished fourth in the voting, was the Sprinter. This one was the runaway winner for me. I love this casting. Hot Wheels did their premium version of the Sprinter. I think the Matchbox one is even better because I think the opening door, I only have one hand here, hold on. There we go. I think the opening door was really well done here. And it's big enough. I mean, they have limitations based on the blister packs. It's big enough. It's small enough to fit the blister, but big enough to kind of look bigger than some of the other models. Like it looks big. They can't really make them, to scale per se. But I thought this one was super well executed. I really, really dig that model. And I'm kind of a sucker for Sprinters too, but who isn't? And I thought that one was really well done. All right, let's see who's going to win the best and most disappointing Lexus LFA. Our winner is Hot Wheels 978. You're a Hot Wheels collector. You're getting a Matchbox. Congratulations. That is yours. And we're done with the polls. Let's get to the tournaments. The messy, meaty tournaments. On Instagram, they were done in my stories. Each round would run for 24 hours. People would vote. We randomly drew the pairings. Some of them were brutal. And a lot of people, oh, why are these two against each other? We just randomly drew them, and then you guys voted, and ultimately there was a winner. We are going to start with Mini GT. I think this is in the order. I don't know if I have it totally in order that we did the tournaments, but yeah, these were super fun. Lots of opinions, lots of I mean, every time someone would be beat, like if a Skyline was beating another car, everyone would be like, oh, just hype models. No one knows what they're talking about. You vote, you vote. You know what you're talking about because you voted for what you liked. And that's what I love about the tournaments because it brings out a lot of passion. And that's the whole point of this. It's not like, we can be official. It's just we can be really fun. All right. Where is it? Where's the winner? All right. Talk about Mini GT. The Mini GT tournament was 16 cars. We chose, we meaning the committee. I have a bunch of people that came in. Some of the writers for Lamley Group. Oh, I should probably just get it started, and then we can talk about it. Let's do that. Now you can start entering. Lamley Group writers. I brought some other collectors and influencers in, or content creators that. Influencers, content creators that are collectors for particular brands and everything else. And we shared a lot of opinions. It got very heated in our discussions on what models should be in there. I even asked people like Glenn, who's the director at Mini GT, some of the models that he saw that were popular. And we put them all up against each other. This was the first year that we actually separated Kaido House from Mini GT. They're just two very different brands. And then and so we'll do a Kaido House thing in a little bit. But 16 models, the two finalists, and you can obviously see the winner, but the two finalists for Mini GT Model of the Year. And in this case, the tournaments, so we don't reserve them just as new models. This could be anything released during the year. So it could be existing castings and new liveries, whatever. But the two models that were the finalists were the Super Silhouette Nissan S15 Silvia, the Formula Drift Japan version in this kind of like chromed purple, and the McLaren F1 GTR. Winner? Well, if you're looking at the giveaway right there, that I hope you've entered, it was the McLaren GTR, F1 GTR. Let's get it opened. This is the model that the winner will get. The winner of this giveaway. You won't be getting this one because the box is ripped, and this one's mine. Absolute stunner of a model. Not a surprise. I was happy to see this one win. I really like the Super Silhouette as well. There were some great models. The Lincoln was up there. I mean, Mini GT had a killer year, and watching them embrace a lot of racing cars, classic and current racing cars, was one of my favorite things in diecast this year. We know Mini GT is doing the Senna set, the Senna line this year, which is super exciting. A lot of cool things coming from Mini GT in 24, by the way. And so like racing cars from Mini GT was one of my favorite things of the year, and I mentioned that on Instagram. So I was happy to see the McLaren F1 win. I think the Lotus, the John Player Special Lotus, was one I loved. The Terrell, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. The 3-wheel was great. I even really liked the Super Silhouette, but I was happy to see the McLaren win. And that's my choice. The McLaren, in fact, the McLaren is another one of my finalists for Model of the Year. From any brand from Mini GT, but I loved the McLaren F1 GTR. Absolutely loved it. Let's draw a winner here in the next 30 seconds or so. Let's look at your comments here. Mattel better be paying attention. Mini GT is coming in. I think there's room for everyone. I think Mini GT made some major strides this year. So did Tarmac. We'll talk about them in a little bit. We'll see when we start going to premium and stuff. It was a fun year to collect. I do think that it doesn't have to be one versus the other, but I do think some of these brands like Mini GT and Tarmac and really their footprint got a lot bigger among collectors. So that was cool to see. So really, really happy about that. Really happy to see these brands, and they're doing it right too. So meaning licensing and everything else. We'll be talking about that in a little bit. All right. Straw winner for the McLaren F1 GTR. The details on this model are just so great. OLB, congratulations. You've got yourself a McLaren F1 GTR. Might be revisiting that model here in a little bit. All right. Let's talk next one. Well, since we're on Mini GT, why don't we talk Kaido House? Kaido House, this is the first year we did a Kaido House tournament. Let's see here. Give me 1 second. No, we're not going to go to Kaido House because we're going to revisit Kaido House towards the end. I think you know why. We'll get to that in a little bit. Tarmac Works. Let's talk about Tarmac Works Global 64. We did the Tarmac Works Global 64 line. Now, the reason I only did Global 64, now the difference between Global 64 is the Tarmac Works Global 64 models. Let's see if I've got one in front. Well, I'll be showing to you in a second. There's the models that come in the acrylic cases that are very much like highly, highly detailed, sometimes so detailed that maybe the wheels don't roll as well. That's your Hobby 64 line. But for, let's see, I'm pulling it up here. Let's do this giveaway. But the Global 64 line, I think, is the most like Lamley type. And when I say Lamley, I mean like those of you who follow me, who are watching. Wheels roll. They have some fewer parts. They can handle a little bit more of play type. They're still collectibles. They still have enough fragile pieces that I wouldn't call them toys per se. But we wanted to separate that. And then we added, there was a lot of the Hobby 64 models that, and other lines of Tarmac that went into our premium tournament that we'll talk about in a little bit. But the winner, as you can see up in the corner, hopefully you're entering the giveaway here in the corner. The winner of the Tarmac Works Global 64 tournament was the HKS Hyper Sylvia RS2. Let's open it up. if I can without ripping the box, but I ripped the box many, many times. This is such a cool model. HKS livery just kind of gets folks going, and I think it was hard to ignore this one. There were some great models. I was a little biased because there were Lamley models in there, right? Some of the Lamley exclusives. I can't argue with the HKS. My favorite was, I don't even know where it is, but my favorite was the Dodge Challenger, but I'm biased because it's the Lamley exclusive. I don't know if I have it here. I don't know where it is. Should have brought it out, but I didn't. Um, but yeah, this is the winner, and the winner of the giveaway will be getting this HKS Sylvia. Runner up, I have it in the box here because it was a window box, and I put it in the box wrong. So let's open it up. Jeez, look at me. I'm a mess today. But I probably put it in the box wrong like 2 months ago once we finished the tournament. It was the Zonda Revolution or Revolution. I'll show it to you. This is not what the winner gets. The Pagani. Paganis have been super popular in the Global 64 line. Super, super popular. I think it won last year, and then this orange version was the runner-up. This year, not a huge surprise at all. And it's rad. It's a freaking great model, is the Pagani. But the HKS Sylvia won it. Let's pick a winner here in about 15 seconds. If you haven't entered, right there is where you want to enter. I'll look at your comments while we're doing this a little bit. Anyone seen her buy that the Tarmac Apple Porsche? The Apple Porsche got into the premium tournament and in the model of the year tournament, which we'll talk about a little bit. All right, let's draw a winner. I'll tell you. So with the runner, I'll give you the votes. Mini GT, the McLaren beat the Super Silhouette 52 to 48%. You know, their pairings will always be that way, and that was the same for the HKS over. No. 61 to 39% the HKS Hyper Sylvia. So that's pretty dominant win by the Sylvia. Let's draw a winner. Of the HKS Sylvia, if you want it signed, send me a little private message. Seller Sam, congratulations. The HKS Sylvia is yours. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Should we do Auto World? Let's do Auto World. I'm a little biased on this one. 16 cars in the Auto World tournament. Some new, some not. Enter right there. Now I have the carded version here, but let me get the loose version. It's up here. Hold on a second. Got my display here. Winner with, let me tell you the percentage. Oops. 58% of the vote versus 42% of the vote. The runner-up was the Toyota Supra, the Euro spec. And I accidentally put that in my case that's in storage. I was not able to pull that out, but it was the white Toyota Supra, the 1997 Toyota Supra. Those are always very popular. But the winner this year with 58% of the votes, and not a surprise at all, is the absolutely fabulous Toyota Celica Supra. I agree with you on the execution of the model. I also am totally biased, and full disclosure, there's the Lamley Group's name there on the hood and on the side and on the back. This is a special collaboration that was done between Auto World, JCCS, the Japanese Classic Car Show, and me. I got to be a part of it, which is very exciting. And Chad Reed over at Auto World, who does a lot of the videos, a lot of the marketing, he actually had his hand in designing the livery for this Toyota theme, giving this a racing. They introduced the new their new aftermarket wheel with this model as well, and you could only get it at JCCS with the sticker, and then also at the Autoworld store, and I think it's the fastest sellout the Autoworld store has ever had as well. So this is a super, super popular model. Here is the carded version that the winner's going to get. I won't give away a sticker version only because that was for JCCS, but this is the carded version. The only way to get it was at the show or at this store. So, or at the Outer World store. And like I said, it's sold out. So now this is a really, really cool one, kind of a rare piece and a beautifully executed piece. And yeah, one of my prides and joys, if I'm being perfectly honest, along with the models I did with J-Car this year. Those were super, super fun. But this model is fantastic. And let me just say, stay tuned for more. I'll just say that. If you put two and two together, you might figure some things out. But I will never confirm or deny what is coming. All right, so this was the winner. We'll go ahead and draw a winner. Said it was the Supra that won. That was behind. That was the runner up. I'm trying to remember the other models that Supras did. I think the Starion kind of moved forward. I think the Lamley Silverado, the white Silverado, was up there. But ultimately it was the JCCS Supra that won, and that's not a surprise. And I think it was a deserving winner as well. Just, I mean, look at that thing. It's one of the best models of the year. I would consider this one of the model of the year, but I felt that would be too biased because the Lamley name is on it. By the way, if you do want to buy, I just noticed someone just purchased it in the store right there. Are two of the Lamley exclusives, the GT40 with the Ghost logo on it that people don't know is there. Because it's really hard to see, and the fantastic Cadillac Eldorado, which was secretly one of my favorites, with the unique, we'll just say, Lamley Vuitton maybe style deco on it. So those are available if you'd like to buy those. We might be doing a Lamley exclusive show here. Like, I have some leftovers from the different lines, and maybe one of these days I'm going to do one where we'll give away some pretty rare stuff, some of the chases, maybe even one of these chases, and which is, I think the last one on eBay sold for, I think, $500. So and I've got one that I'm gonna give away. I think maybe I'll auction one off too, but because I have a couple extra. But we'll do that. We might do that. I might do a land, like we do all the Tarmac ones, because I have a few left over and I'll want to clear out that inventory for all the stuff coming this year. So I might be doing that later. Enough about that. Let's draw a winner. Who's going to get this JCCS Supra? You're going to be very lucky. If you want me to sign this card, just send me a message. Picking and screaming. Congratulations. I hope you are screaming. Maybe refrain from any picking as you celebrate, but you won the JCCS Supra. This is the actual one you will get. Congratulations. That is the Auto World, best of Auto World choice among the collectors this year. All right. Let's keep going. We did Auto World. We did Tarmac. We did Mini GT. How about we do Matchbox? So this was different. There were the Matchbox polls, best, most disappointing, whatever. But this one, I'm actually just going to announce the winner because we already gave it away, right? I think we did. Yeah, we already gave it away. It was the Porsche RSR was the winner of the Matchbox tournament. Maybe I could have waited on that, but we already gave it away. I'm not going to give away two. I'll just give away one. So it won the basic new model. I'll pull it out. Where is it again? That's right here. So that was your winner. We have no giveaway for that because we already gave it away. Probably should have thought that through. The runner-up, see, I have it, was the 1980 Porsche. So two Mattel Creations were the two finalists for the tournament for Matchbox. Not a surprise. 59% for the RSR, 41% for the retro 80s 911. That was your winner. So this is your Matchbox model of the year. New, old, whatever. This was your choice. Not a surprise at all. I would agree with you just in terms of like from what I witnessed, the popularity of that model. I'd put the Sprinter as my model of the year. I'd also, as a little dark horse, and this one I didn't put in the tournament, but I got to show it off. As a dark horse, I didn't have this one, and I didn't know until I got it later, is the German toy show Porsche 910. that I just thought was fantastic. Porsche 910 was a great new casting this year, but I thought the execution, this one, especially in red, was beautiful. So that was kind of my choice too, but that's unofficial. Let's move on because you guys want giveaways. You want to know who won, but you also want giveaways. So let's talk about Hot Wheels. Now, your Hot Wheels best new model basic was the Mercedes. Your Hot Wheels best premium new model was the Ford Capri. Those all did well in the tournament, but in the 16 car tournament, where cars that have been castings that have been previously released, we had a different winner. As a matter of fact, let's just go ahead. You'll see it once I start the giveaway. So we are going to give this model away, and someone's going to be very lucky. Someone's going to be very, very lucky. So you're going to want to enter this one. Let's do it right now. Right there. Let's talk. Let's talk about your Hot Wheels model of the year. It was a brutal tournament. A lot of cars going against each other. My favorite little Mercedes was in there. The Group 5 Ford Capri was in there, but a whole lot of Porsches were going at each other. Your winner, and hot damn if this isn't a doozy of a car, and probably the most expensive release of the year in one of them in 2023 was the Hot Wheels Nationals Convention Porsche 930. That is my version loose. That is the version I photographed for the tournaments. The winner of this one is going to get a carded version. And what is it? It's like a $300 car now, right? And for good reason. It's absolutely stunning. The 930 was released last year in that cyberpunk deco, and then it just went crazy this year. Not only in the nationals, but this Boulevard version, which also went pretty far in the tournament. In fact, I think this car beat out this car in the tournament. But the yellow one, and then you could also argue that the Daniel Arsham 930 was also, I mean, it's similar. I mean, obviously a little bit different execution, but that was the 930 had a very, very good year. Your runner up in the tournament got to the final. It got, what was it? 39% of the vote. The Porsche got 61% of the vote, but the Acura Integra or Honda Integra Type R, I'm sorry, was your runner up. Also, I think a very valid finalist. Lots of popularity. I mean, lots of people love this model. The execution, the white over the white wheels, just fantastic with the red interior, or at least the red seats. Love this model. I think I didn't do an RLC poll this year, but I thought that probably would have won. And considering it finished up there in the finals, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to enter because this is by far the most valuable car we're giving away. We already gave one away when we did this last month when we introduced the models in the Hot Wheels tournament, but you guys voted as the winner, so we're going to give away another one. So that is what I'm trying to think of some of the others. The 560, the Mercedes did pretty well. I think it might have eventually lost to the Porsche. I don't remember all of those details, but there were some really great. I think the Datsun was in there. I don't remember. I mean, trying to pick 16 Hot Wheels releases out of all of everything released is tough. And then this year, I can just say that I think this year we've got new cars that we're going to go into the tournament. I think we're going to do a 32 car tournament for Hot Wheels next year just because of the sheer volume of releases. And now they've got this kind of like middle premium stuff that we're going to have to start accounting for as well. So I don't know how many new castings will be in there, but we're going to kind of move away from new castings and just talk about the best stuff released every year. We do the Lamley Awards next year. So let's go about another 30 seconds and then we'll pick the winner, and then we'll talk about the premium model of the year and the model of the year and Kaido House. So we'll get to that. You guys ready? Let's have a winner. I'm gonna look at your comments here. Fingers crossed. You guys know we're just a couple months away now from the Nationals convention in Atlanta. I will be there. I know what the models are, and they're awesome. So if you're going to be there, chase me down. Say hello, but be there for the models. They're going to be fantastic. So, I mean, really good. Really good. This Nationals was fantastic because the Sylvia was in here too, the Jimmy Lou Sylvia. All right, let's draw a winner. Enough talking, enough hype. We got to talk about these winners of the tournaments. Now let's see who is going to take a carded version home. Someone's very lucky. It's Nano underscore. Nano, congratulations. You have won probably the most desired model of this entire tournament or of this entire giveaway. Nicely done, my friend. All right, let's talk. How are we going to do this? This is how we're going to do it. We have 3 more models to give away. We have the winner of the premium tournament. We have the winner of the I actually have the runner up of the model of the year. We're going to give that away. And then we have the model of the year. And I think we already know, since I haven't done Kaido House yet, one of those is Kaido House. Is a Kaido House model. So let's talk. Let's talk about premium model of the year. Well, let's just say it. Kaido House won model of the year this year. We already know it. You saw it in the tournament. We'll get to that in a second. And I'm really thrilled about this, and I'll tell you the little story here in a second. But let's give away the premium model of the year. Check out the giveaway, and you'll know what model it is. I haven't even opened this thing up yet. Your model, premium model of the year. This was a new tournament we did this year. 32 cars, and it was every premium brand that wasn't Mattel. Matchbox out, Hot Wheels out, then other like basic type brands, Majorette, Tomica, that sort of line, like toy line, they're out. These were premium, and premium is obviously a very wide reach. But we did 32 cars from Tarmac, Mini GT, Kaido House, Inno 64, Para 64, who won the tournament 2 years ago, model of the year. Auto World, Greenlight, Johnny Lightning, M2. So many of these brands represented in the 32 car tournament. Very, very tough to select. Very, very tough. And then we did random pairing, and your winner was the Inno 64 Liberty Walk F40. Take it in, enjoy the packaging. I haven't even opened it. Now I bought 2. One to give away. I did not have this car. This was nominated by our panel. I did not have this car, but I bought 2 because this car did so well. I needed to have one. So when I talk about tournaments next year, I got to show an example of the winner. It would be really dumb for me to not have one. So I bought one, and I actually bought another one because we knew I had to give one away. So I'm very excited to be giving this one away. This is the first Inno 64 that is finished as a finalist or has even won a tournament. They've been in the tournaments before. This one got, let me tell you what the percentage was, and then we'll give it away. I'll tell you what the runner-up was. This won 65% of the vote in the final. It beat out the Kaido House Nissan Skyline GTR R33 in purple. 65% to 35%. How did they get to the finals? The Kaido House beat, let me tell you. Kaido House actually beat its own. It beat the limited edition Silverado. And then the F40 beat the Schuko Tarmac Works Porsche. More on that in a minute. But then the Kaido House and the Liberty Walk went against each other. And it was the Inno 64 Liberty Walk Ferrari F40 that took premium model of the year. And pretty clearly and dominantly took it. This model was, the actual Ferrari. Can't call it a Ferrari. Can't call it a Ferrari. You can call it an F40. Can't call it a Ferrari. Was unveiled, I think, last year at the Tokyo Auto Salon. If I'm correct, they unveiled the Lamborghini this year, and then Inno 64 did the replica of this model, with Liberty Walk's permission. And clearly this one has been very, very popular. So I'm already seeing the comments about this one. We'll be giving it away soon because what I think you're going to, when we talk about the model of the year, the why this model was not in there is going to be a topic. So we'll talk about that in a second. So, should we draw a winner? Let's go ahead and draw a winner. We've already been doing this for an hour, so let's draw a winner. This is for the Liberty Walk F40. This is the one you'll get. It's totally wrapped. Haven't opened it. Nothing. It's going to be yours. Let's draw the winner. Who gets this one? It's fantastic. The replica. Inno64 had a great year too. Sean Smith, congratulations. You have won this one. We'll put it right here because it was the model, premium model of the year. Let's talk about the winner. Let's talk about the runner-up. We'll go ahead and put the runner-up in here. I have one to give away, so let's give it away. Where is it? There it is. All right. So we did the 32 model tournament premium of the year. That was the Inno64 F40. Then we do the doozy. It's my favorite part of the Lamley Awards by about 800 miles. Because we take every brand, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Mini GT, Tarmac, you name it. Some obscure brands, some more obscure brands, some super popular brands like Hot Wheels, Mini GT, you name it. And they all go against each other. And it's been interesting. I'm looking for, where is my, while we're doing this, it's interesting because we've done this tournament. This was the third year we've done it. And, I'm actually looking for something really quick. I apologize. I'm a little slow here. It's very hard for me to do two things at once. I don't know where it is. Anyway, we do this and we put everything against each other. 2 years ago, and this is what I'm looking for and I can't find it. 2 years ago, we had a wildly surprising winner. Was the Para 64 roof Yellowbird. And I don't know where I put it. And I apologize to Para 64. I'll do a picture because I'll show all the winners. Para 64, and it actually beat out a Kaido House last year, 2 years ago. Last year, Liberty Walk, Hot Wheels Liberty Walk Skyline, Super Silhouette Skyline Chase in Black took the tournament and beat a Kaido House. This year, it came down to a Kaido House and it came down to a Shuko Tarmac Works PlayStation Porsche. This is the model we're giving away right now. This was the runner-up and a very deserving runner-up. Nice to see the Porsche licensing sticker on this one. Shuko Tarmac Works partnered to do this car. This was nominated by Graham Heaps, who is a writer at Lamley, but that's just as a favorite to us because he writes about real cars most of the time. He loved this car, put it in the tournament, and it went very well in the premium tournament and obviously did really well in the model of the year tournament. Blew by everything it went up against, but went down in the final to the eventual winner. I'm trying to think, what the model it beat to get to the final was this one again. Porsche. Porsches everywhere in the tournaments, and they always go well. So do the models you'd expect to, but there's some nice surprises. And seeing this Tarmac Shuko model get to the final was really, really cool. Let's give it away, and then we will talk about the model of the year. Let's do that right now. So this is the car you're actually getting. I did the same thing. I got two because I wanted to talk about the runner-up. Wanted to give this one away. So this was the runner-up, and we'll see who wins this one. Ad Zebra. I hope I'm saying that right. Congratulations. You have won the Shuko Tarmac Works Porsche, PlayStation Porsche. Fantastic model. We'll put it to the side for you here. Going to send it to you, and let's talk about your Lamley Awards 2023 Model of the Year. We'll start the giveaway. Let's talk about the winner. There it is. A very, very deserving winner, a very, very deserving brand. It is the Kaido House Nissan Skyline GTR R33, the Kaido Works R33. We'll put that box right here. That is your model of the year. It was, oh, it's the Skyline. I love this, and I love that Kaido House won because Kaido House has been the runner-up both years, the last 2 years. Lost to the Para 64 Porsche in 2021. Lost to the Liberty Walk Skyline, Hot Wheels Skyline in 2022. But this year, it handily won. I'll tell you what the percentages were. 52, pretty close. 52% of the vote versus 48 for the Schuko Tarmac Porsche. It wins the tournament. Kaido House had a stellar year as well. Kaido House has obviously made great strides. Junimai's brand works under the Mini GT umbrella. Also has a real car wing of that brand, which has been fantastic. I think he bought another R34 Skyline while he was in Japan here a few days ago. You want me to show the engine? Let me try and do that. Let's see if I can get close up on it. I don't know how close up we can get on whatnot, but the engine is, yeah, I don't know how much. I can just put it on. You guys can look at it. If you don't have this car, well, a winner's going to get one, and then yeah, I can do details on my videos, but hard to do it on these live streams. But that is your winner, and I think it's a very deserving winner. Very unique take on the R33. That is kind of what Kaido House does. I've talked about that. I think it's like maybe no. I doubt someone would chop up an R33 or an R34 the way these replicas are done, but they're done like there's an element of fantasy here. There's an element. I mean, there's just like some pure car culture in this. I really, really like what Kaido House does. Even if I'm not totally into the actual execution of the car, I just like the approach. And Silverados were like of Kaido House. Like this also won the Kaido House tournament. I think that's pretty clear. Silverados were my favorite this year from Kaido House, but I did like this R33 a lot. And the R34 really grew on me. I think I don't know if I have it with me, but the runner up in the Kaido House tournament was the R34 from Japan. I'll try and just pull that out real quick if I can. Hold on. This was the Japan exclusive R34. Stunner of a model. That one was beat by the R33 in the tournament. In the Kaido House tournament. But I think a very deserving winner. I did mention the F40, the Inno 64 Liberty Walk F40 was not in there. As part of the 64 car model of the year tournament, one of the qualifications that I put in there, just to keep things very clear, because sometimes you get into some blurry lines when it comes to licensing. I'm not suggesting Inno 64 did some, but I had to do a cutoff at some point. And the cutoff I made was the car in the tournament, as to the best of our knowledge, was licensed by the original manufacturer, meaning a Ferrari licensed by Ferrari, Dodge licensed by Dodge, Porsche by Porsche, so on and so forth. Sometimes it's not totally clear, but when you have aftermarket brands like Liberty Walk, RWB, Singer, things like that, sometimes it can get a little complicated. Clearly, Inno 64 had permission with Liberty Walk, and that isn't a Ferrari anymore. In fact, once I guess it was off the registry from Ferrari. Once it was modified by Liberty Walk. There's at least that's what I've heard. Nonetheless, there's a reason it's called an F40. So while licensing I think was kosher, I do think the cutoff I put was the original manufacturer. That eliminates some of the blurry lines, and that meant that car was not going to be in the tournament, if that makes sense. Let's figure out who's going to win the model of the year. So you can argue maybe that would have beat out the R33, might have, but that's how we do the model of the year. And who knows what we'll have next year. Let's pick a winner for the Kaido House Nissan Skyline R33, your Lamley Awards model of the year. Baker D 9050, you have won. Congratulations. Let me know if you want this signed. I'll sign it. Probably want to get June to sign this one if anything. But it is your model of the year. You'll be getting a nice new one sent over to you. This is my example. This was super fun, guys. Join me here, in about an hour and a half. I'm going to be back doing the Lamley Purge sale. We'll have some fun doing that stuff. I've got some really, really cool stuff. I want these cars to go to good homes because they come directly out of my collection and will revive the super exclusive sticker that you can only get when you buy from the Purged Collection sale. So I'll see you in an hour and a half. Bookmark that show if you haven't. This was super, super fun. Agree, don't agree. I'll do some pictures of these cars. I'll put them up on Instagram. I'd love to see everybody's comments on the winners of all these tournaments and polls. This was a blast to do, a lot of work, but totally, totally worth it. And thanks for Whatnot for letting me do this live stream, showcasing the winners and giving them all away. Let's go ahead and raid someone. There's got to be a seller out there that might enjoy sending all of you guys over. So should we surprise someone? Yeah, let's surprise one of the old classics. Thanks, everybody. See you in about 90 minutes.